Howdy from the Texas Public Policy Foundation. You're busy, I'm busy, the world's busy. So let's get right to it. Here's 5 things you need to know right now and how TPPF's involved in each. Let's start with the elephant in the room, inflation. It's become impossible to ignore that everything costs more, whether it's the grocery store, the hardware store, or the gas it takes to get there. Who cares? Apparently not the Biden administration, whose new tactic to gaslight Americans isn't working. So what are they doing? They're playing a numbers game so that the figure in the news is lower than it truly is. But Americans like you and I are feeling it in a very real way each and every day. Which reminds me, you're not going crazy. It's not just higher prices, it's also smaller products. Everything from cereal to cans of tuna have literally been shrinking lately. Shrinking? Think of it this way. Domino's wing deal recently went from 10 wings to 8, but the price stayed the same, $7.99. That's a 20% reduction. The fact is, smaller products are taking up more room in your budget. It's time for the Biden administration to appoint qualified people to the Federal Reserve, not those with a long history of failure. Speaking of failure, the evidence is in, and the lockdowns were just that. Research concluded that lockdowns have had little to no public health effects while imposing enormous economic and social costs. Rising unemployment, learning loss among students, spiking rates of domestic violence, and a pandemic-level rise in drug abuse and overdoses. All for little to no benefit. At TPPF, we think it's time for all mandates to be lifted, including those affecting airline passengers. That's why we filed suit with Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne and the state of Texas last week against the CDC to end mask mandates on planes and at airports. We're sending the message that the American people will not accept federal agencies ignoring their limits, abusing their power, and making an end run around Congress. Parents across the nation continue to demand a say in their child's education. Many are enraged about pornographic materials made available to children through school libraries.
In the last few weeks, parents across the district have discovered multiple books such as Lawn Boy, Gender Queer, and Out of Darkness. These books and others include X-rated pornographic pictures and illustrations and/or text descriptions of sex acts, with one book graphically describing 2 10-year-old boys performing oral sex on each other, and another describing in detail an adult molesting a child. That would be this one that remains in the school library.
Some of these books are still on the shelves of many public schools. There's a word for this. It's illegal. Keep up with these issues and more. Visit us at texaspolicy.com to get connected. We'll see you next time.